This is passionate cookery. This is shelf life. We're back. It's been a hot second. Everyone's a bit older. My hair's a bit stupid and long. Look, I love mac and cheese, and these guys, the big elbows, have the best shelf life of all time, okay? Dried pasta. Can you believe we haven't used it yet? Me too. And we're gonna be inspired by provoletta, which is an Argentinian dish, which I ate several years ago when I was a bit of a youngster. And we're gonna do some steak as well, obviously. Steak, mac and cheese, chimichurri sauce. Passionate. Excellent. Face love. We're rolling. So the first thing I need you to do is set a light, not to your house, to your stove, okay? I'm gonna grab loads of amazing jalapenos, get them all on there, set that camera rolling too. You just need to keep turning them until they're fully charred all over. Then we're gonna peel them, de-seed them, get rid of the skins, and we're gonna chop them up later for our sauce. So this is just one sauce to eat with steak. So what we got is just completely black. No green left, that's what you want, completely charred, starting to collapse a little bit. What I want you to do is then grab all these little nuggets in the box. They're going in the box, okay? You can put them in a bowl and wrap it with cling film, whatever you like. You just need an airtight seal. That is gonna steam these guys. Makes them really easy to peel later on, okay? Now we can move on to cheese sauce. So there are loads of different ways to make mac and cheese. The one I always keep coming back to is the classic, which has a bechamel base. That's what I'm going to be doing in this pan here. Over here, I've got some water, you'll never guess what, for my pasta. And here's, ooh, salty, but just shy of C. I'm using like chimichurri rigate, which is just like big elbows. If a pasta is rigate, it tends to hold on to sauce a little bit better. On the packet, it says, what does it say, packet? 13 for fully cooked, 11 for al dente, which is to the tooth. We're gonna go 9 because we're gonna be baking our mac and cheese. I'm gonna go 8. I'm going 8. We're gonna be baking our mac and cheese and it's gonna carry on cooking, and we don't want it to be super overcooked and crap. So that's what's going on there. Over here, 80 grams of butter in there. I'm using salted butter. Yes, I haven't waited for it to melt. Forgot. But essentially all you want to be doing here is cooking it together until it smells like chocolate hobnobs. So it'll melt eventually. It's a mess. I've ruined it. You'll be fine. There we go. 101, guys. Don't forget to melt your butter first. He got ahead of himself. Told you it didn't matter, look. So now I'm gonna add the milk. Bit by bit. Don't rush it. You've done this before, you know this bit's boring. Okay, there's the beeper. It's time for these guys to come out. Tiny bit of the pasta water, just in case. And then drain him. Off he goes. Now I can just concentrate on this guy. Then once all the milk is added, splashing everywhere, you want to wait for it to come up to a simmer, and that's when it's going to thicken, and that's when you know the consistency of your sauce is right, okay? Once that's happened, we're going to season it up a little bit, but we want the cheeses to be the star of the show here. So I'm happy with this now, so I'm just going to season them a bit. A little bit of nutmeg. If you don't like nutmeg, don't put it in, mate. I love it, especially in this. A little bit of pepper, of the black variety. A little bit of salt, don't need much. So we use salted butter and we've got salty cheese going in. I'm gonna chuck in a little bit of creme fraiche, just a little bit, to help with that twang, which is, I think, what you really want with mac and cheese. Right, what next? Oh my goodness. We're gonna go for a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. You could use English, I would prefer that, but there's none in my fridge. Now we're gonna be adding the cheeses. I've got some provolone that I'm gonna be putting in, which is a sweet provolone. It's really delicious, a bit nutty too. And then the body and the richness is gonna come from cheddar. And I've got two. I've got Isle of Mull and I've got poacher, Lincolnshire poacher. So now that's in, I'm gonna turn the heat off. I'm gonna go in with my provolone. Don't chuck in all the cheese at once because you won't like it, and you really don't want a split sauce. The provolone's got a lovely string to it. Cheddar, not so much. Okay, so we've tempered that bit, now we go in the rest. Look at that. That looks like aligot, which is Really awesome. Really cool. And now, okay, technical issues. And now this guy, he's going in there. Get that all mixed in there. I grease this with butter so your cheese won't stick to the sides. That looks incredible. And then we go in with the mixed cheddars. And it doesn't have to melt all the way because it's going to finish doing that in the oven. We want to get that burnished, like cauliflower cheese look to it. Oh, it's magic. And there you go. Now I'm going to let him sit and get a little bit of a skin on him. Then I'm going to bake him after I've done my sauce. Okay, do you remember my box? In here, we steamed our jalapenos. What that does is it separates that skin, that tough skin, which isn't the nicest to eat, away from the flesh. So now you got these guys. So they're green again, but they're not quite as green as they were before. These are pretty hot, so cooking them like that definitely like tempers down the heat. I'm gonna de-seed, you know, the majority before I chop it into my sauce. So just, you know, amuse yourself while I de-seed all these. There we go, easy. Now you want to gather it all into the middle again and chop it. I know this knife is too small, but he's my best mate. We've been inseparable since we met. And you could do all of this sauce in a blender if you want, but I prefer it hand chopped because then you get a bit more texture. Like doing it by hand or doing it in a pestle and mortar versus electronic machinery, for me, just tends to change the flavor a little bit. Maybe it's the romance. Maybe I'm just a romantic, I don't know. So that's great. I've got a bunch of texture. He's going in there. I'm gonna wait to see if I need all of that. And if I don't, there's another day in it. Part one of the story complete. Before I get the herbs, I'm gonna go and get... Where's he gone? My garlic's disappeared. No, he hasn't. Okay. I've got some spring garlic here. It's really mild and sweet and great. And you can peel the cloves a little bit like an onion. And then we're just gonna grate that into the sauce because I want garlic flavor all over the place. Now you wouldn't always find raw onion in a chimichurri sauce, but I really like it. Don't need loads, it's just that little hum of allium. Getting delicious and tasty and yum, okay? And now it's herbs. So I've got parsley and coriander here. Parsley, that's like the backbone of the chimichurri sauce. I really, really like coriander. You kind of want to turn it in on itself because you don't want to run your knife through any herbs too many times because then you bruise them and it's like, you know, if you were to punch your mate in the face, then he wouldn't feel very good the next day. Just run your knife through it until he's just got down to the right size and then you want to stop. The moment it starts becoming darker in color, that means you've chopped too many times. You can start to see the bruising running through the whole mass of herbs, which is crap. In that goes. Then secret herbs, we've got some fresh oregano, which is delicious, really aromatic. Marjoram would be really good as well, which is like, he's like posh cousin. Things like dill work well in this kind of situation too. Turn them in on themselves again, get nice and taut. Why did he do it by hand? What's he doing? Okay, everything's in. Now what do we need? We need some salt, for sure. We need red wine vinegar, in that goes. You could use different vinegar, but red wine vinegar tastes really, really good with this blend of herbs. And you want it to be sharp to cut through all the delicious, rich food that you're gonna be eating with it. And then olive oil to loosen it. And you want lots. Lots. It smells so delicious. It's incredible. Okay, it's absolutely incredible. So that's my sauce done now. Mac and cheese is now in the oven. I've got an incredibly delicious sauce. Now all I need to do is cook my steak. Steak time, okay. Final part of the story is my bavette steak, which is a flank steak, and it's my favorite cut probably, alongside onglet or onglet, which is the hanger steak. It's really loose textured, it's packed full of flavor, it's way cheaper than those ribeye chumps. And what I've done with this guy, which is absolutely mega for shelf life points, is I've salted him for about 5 hours now. You can do it overnight, you can do it 3 days in advance, and it's an amazing way to keep your meat. If it's going a little bit wonky, salt it, starts to cure, draws out any nasty bits, and keeps it for ages. So you want some neutral oil in the base, and you want to cover the base. That's going to transmit heat, and it's going to help you get a Maillard reaction slightly higher up, just the bottom of that. And you don't want it too hot. If it's too hot, your steak will just burn by the time it's cooked inside, okay? So I'm just going to move that because the steak has displaced all the oil. So I want to give it another chance to get some oil on it. Okay, I'm going to give them a turn. So now we're rare. We're pretty rare at the moment. You want to take it to medium rare, in my opinion. So we want to get it to about 52, then take it off, 52 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Apologies. Okay, now we're going to smash some garlics. I'm going to get those in there. I'm going to get some butter in there. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Now it's time to baste them. So we're going to tilt that back. Get your steak up top. Absolutely cake him in it. Smells absurd, smells insane. And where are we at? And that, friends, is it. Wow, 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 wow. In here, just rip some bread. Got some stale bread from a couple of days ago, because everyone wants a bit of crunch. Garlic buttery breadcrumbs. Sure thing, mate. So I'm gonna get these nice and toasty, and then we're gonna plate up. So there you have it, dudes. My steak's been resting for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna slice him against the grain, and I'm gonna lay him out just nice on a plate. Dress him with the chimichurri. That chimichurri sauce cuts through the richness. Then there's the mac and cheese. It never ends. This is a really, really delicious tea. We're creating flavor synergies on your plate. I'm not gonna say anything else. That was hard, but I tell you what, absolutely off the charts, okay? Wow, it's so delicious. I want you to tell me now what to make next, and I'll keep listening. I'm gonna finish this whole thing. Doing that salting does something magic to all steaks, all meat. Always salt your meat, guys. Make that sauce, make that steak, make that mac and cheese. Have them together,